In this video drum lesson, we're going to look at the drum parts to the song With or Without You by the band U2, drummed by the one and only Larry Mullen Jr. Throughout this song, there's a tambourine part being played. It's been overdubbed on top of the drum part. You can actually see Larry playing a tambourine in the video, even though there's some drums being played in the background by himself, of course. So when you hear that tambourine, don't get thrown off by that. That comes in on beat 2 and 4, the bar 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's not actually being played by Larry on the drums. It was overdubbed afterwards. The other thing to note throughout this song is we've got a bit of a Larry Mullen classic here, where yet again for another song he's got this floor tom set up to the left hand side of his snare drum right here. We're slowly building up in dynamics. Larry is developing his drum part, as all great drummers do. They start with something relatively simple in a song and then they add to it as the song progresses. I love this kind of drum writing where you take something simple and you just add to it and add to it. And Larry doesn't go over the top, but certainly he's altering his part as he moves along through the song. So the first bar of verse 2 is the same idea as before, except now our left hand plays on the snare drum and we're back to accented snare drum notes. So the right hand plays eighth notes on the floor tom, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, bass drum on 1, snare drum on 2, bass drum on 3, snare drum on 4. And of course we also have on beat 1 the hi-hat foot, because the hi-hat has closed from the bar above it. We got that and then when we hit the floor tom, bass drum at the same time, the hi-hat foot closes on 1. So we get 1 for bar 1. So the first bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? Then the second bar starts the same, 1 and 2 and this is where we get subtle. So the left hand then moves over to the floor tom on the of beat 2. So in between the eighth notes played by the right hand on the floor tom, on the and of 2 and 3, an extra left hand note is added in between. And a 3, and a 3. So up to that point we get 1 and 2 and a 3. Right, 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 left, right. 1 and 2 and a 3. Bass drum is played on beat 3. On the chart I've marked that extra floor tom note in brackets. It's called a ghost note and they're supposed to be played quietly. In fact, as quiet as you can play it. The quieter the better. This is difficult on an electric drum kit. I'm going to do my best to replicate it. But yeah, the quieter, the more like Larry's part you're going to make it sound. If you play it loudly, it's not going to sound the same. It's going to sound offbeat and weird and quirky. But if you add in that note very, very quietly, it will sound correct. So the correct dynamics should be something like this. 1 and 2 and a 3. Hard to replicate on this kit. 1 and 2 and a 3. When I play for you the whole bar in a second, hopefully that will make sense to you. You can hear what it sounds like in context. So let's move on to the next bit and I'll come back to that in a second. So 3E and is simply right, left, right. So the right hand's basically playing eighth notes all the way through. It doesn't get interrupted. The left hand just moves over to the floor tom to play the extra notes and back to the snare drum on 2 and 4 for the snare drum. So the right hand's just continuing all the way through. 1 and 2 and a 3E and. 3E and. Right, left, right. Now Now the E of 3, that played by the left hand, in between the high and the floor tom on 3 and, is played loudly. In fact, there's a slight bend towards the E and the and of beat 3 being louder than beat 3. So it's almost like the dynamics increase from the and of 2 up until the and of 3. There's a line of 5/16 notes played on the floor tom, which increase in volume towards the E and the and. So you get and 3, E and. Kind of. It's easier if I just play it, I think, which I will do in a second. So snare drum on beat 4 now, onto beat 4 of the bar. 4 with snare drum normally, and then we have the open hi-hat on the and of 4. So the hi-hat is struck with the left hand. You can do it with the right hand, but I recommend you keep your right hand on the floor tom all the way through, move your left hand to the hi-hat on the and of 4, as we did in the bar above it, going into verse 2, and we strike with the hi-hat open, and then obviously it's going to close on beat 1 of the next bar, as it did at the beginning of this line. So, the bar played slowly, bar 2 played slowly. 1 and 2 and 3, E and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3, E and 4, and 1. Great. I think it's the vocals that are kind of doing something repeated, or the melody. Na na na, na na. God, that's so out of tune. I can hear it in my head, but I just can't sing it, hence being a drummer.